Level 1. Easy money. Your coworker made $4,000 in 3 weeks and you can't stop thinking about it. He didn't do anything special. He just bought something called Al-T-Sla and waited. You could do that. You already have a Robinhood account from 2 years ago. You never used it. You open it on your lunch break and the interface is clean, almost playful. Green candles, red candles, numbers moving. It feels like a game someone forgot to put a difficulty setting on. You deposit $500. It feels like nothing. It kind of is nothing. You buy 3 shares of a company you've heard of, because that feels safer than buying something you haven't. The price ticks up $0, $40, and you feel it in your chest. You check it 6 times before dinner. You don't know what a PATS ratio is. You don't know what earnings season means. You've heard the phrase, the market always goes up, and it lives in you now like a fact, like gravity. You believe it the way you believe the sun will rise. You've never been tested on it. You tell your partner you're investing. You say it like it has weight. You're not investing. You're buying lottery tickets and calling them bonds. But you don't know that yet, and that's the only reason you sleep fine. Level 2. Down the rabbit hole. You lost $180 in a single afternoon, and now you need to understand why. It wasn't random. That's the thing that keeps you up. Someone knew something you didn't. The stock dropped right before earnings, which means someone sold before the number came out. Which means the number was already known somewhere by someone in a room you've never been in. You start reading Reddit, Investopedia, YouTube videos with titles like How I Made $11,000 in 1 month, posted by men in rented Lamborghinis. You watch anyway, you take notes anyway, you learn the vocabulary. Support levels, resistance, RSI, MACD, moving averages. You draw lines on charts late at night like a detective connecting evidence. You buy a course for $197 and finish it in a weekend. You feel sharp. You feel like you've been given a key. You put $2,000 in now. You have a system. The system is mostly vibes dressed in technical language, but you don't know that yet. You win 3 trades in a row and feel like you've cracked it. Then you lose 4. The losses are bigger than the wins. You don't understand why. Your system worked. You followed the rules. You start reading about the psychology of trading, and you realize, slowly, with the particular shame of someone being corrected in public, that the market doesn't care about your rules. You adjust the rules. You keep adjusting. The rules keep changing. You start to wonder if the rules are the point, or if the rules are just something to hold on to while the market does whatever it was always going to do. You don't quit. That's the only thing separating you from the people who quit. Level 3, still here. You've been doing this for 2 years and you're roughly even. Not even in a good way. Even in the way that means you've made and lost the same $8, zeros in 3 times, and you're back where you started with less time and more gray hair. But you're still here. Most people aren't still here. You've watched people blow up their accounts in a single week. People who were louder than you, and more confident than you. And absolutely, completely wrong. You watched them leave. You stayed. You've developed something. Not skill, not yet. But pattern recognition. Scar tissue. You know which trades feel right and are wrong. You know the difference between conviction and stubbornness, mostly because you've mistaken one for the other enough times to tell them apart. You don't chase anymore. You wait. Waiting feels like discipline now instead of weakness. Your account is at $14,000. You manage it like it's a second job, which it is, except it doesn't pay you anything consistent and has no HR department and will absolutely fire you on a Tuesday with no explanation. You've learned to live with that. You start thinking about options, not because you understand them, because the returns are bigger and you're tired of slow. That's a warning sign. You don't hear it. Level 4, playing with fire. Options destroyed you and rebuilt you, and you're not sure which version you are now. You lost $6, 0 in 4 days when an earnings call went the wrong direction. Not the wrong direction on the stock. The wrong direction on the move. The stock went up and you still lost money, which feels like a violation of physics until you understand theta decay well enough to hate it. Personally, you understand it now. You understand it the way you understand a thing that has hurt you, deeply, permanently. You rebuilt. $3,000. Back in, you got disciplined, you got surgical. You stopped trading every day and started trading only when the setup was clean, which meant some weeks you did nothing, and doing nothing felt more productive than anything you'd done before. Your win rate climbed. Your sizing got smarter. You stopped treating the market like a slot machine and started treating it like a negotiation. You were no longer hoping. You were calculating. Your account hits $30,000. You make $4,100 in a single day on a pharmaceutical binary event, and you sit in your car in a parking lot and don't know what to feel. It's more than a week of your salary. It took 40 minutes. You eat lunch alone and don't tell anyone. Because there's no way to explain it that doesn't make you sound either lucky or frightening, and you're not sure which one is true. The market has become the most interesting thing in your life. That is not entirely a good sign. Level 5. No safety net. You quit your job on a Thursday and told your boss you were pursuing other interests. Your account is at $180,000. You've had 3 consecutive profitable quarters. You've built a process, a real one, with entry rules and exit rules and position sizing that you follow with the consistency of someone who has learned, through pain, that deviation is how accounts die. You have a morning routine, you have a journal. You track every trade. You review every week. You are, by any reasonable measure, one of the few people who has figured this out enough to try it full time. You manage $180,000 in positions before lunch, and some of it doesn't feel real anymore. Not because it isn't real, because the numbers have separated from the meaning. $4,000 used to be a month's rent. Now it's a rounding error on a bad day. You've recalibrated in ways you didn't consent to. You don't talk about trading at parties anymore. Not because you're modest. Because you've had the conversation enough times to know how it ends. Either they want tips, or they think you're gambling, or they want to tell you about their brother-in-law, who lost everything in crypto. None of these conversations go anywhere. You stop starting them. You are making more money than you ever have. You realize one morning while the market is closed and the apartment is quiet, profoundly alone in a way that is hard to name. Level 6. Other people's money. You have investors now, 3 of them. Combined capital, $1.1 million. You didn't go looking for them. One was a former colleague who watched your track record for a year and asked if you'd manage a portion of his retirement. The second was his brother. The third found you through a forum post you wrote 3 years ago that someone had apparently been reading and rereading. You have a simple agreement, performance fee, monthly reporting. You are now technically a fund. It changes everything and nothing. The strategies are the same. The process is the same. But now when you lose other people's money, and that weight is different. It sits in a different part of your body. You feel it in your shoulders. You feel it before you sleep. You have never worked harder than you do now, and you have never been less certain that hard work is the variable that matters most. You hire a part-time accountant. You talk to a lawyer about structure. You build a small infrastructure around what used to be just you, a screen, and a cup of coffee. It feels like building a company. It feels like growing up. Your investors don't understand your process. They understand the returns. You've learned that explaining the process creates anxiety in people who don't speak the language. So you report the numbers cleanly and answer questions concisely and keep the complexity to yourself. You have started to understand why people in power communicate in simple terms. It isn't condescension, it's efficiency. You are not the same person who deposited $500 into Robinhood. You're not sure when exactly that person left. Level 7. Living in the future. You manage $14 million. You have 2 analysts and an assistant. The game is different here, not in the way people think. People think it becomes easier when the scale is bigger. It doesn't. The edge is thinner. Everyone at this level is smart. Everyone has the data, the screens, the models, the access to earnings calls. The information is roughly equal. What you're competing on now is speed and framework, how fast you process, how consistent your framework holds under pressure, how well your people execute when you're not watching. You sleep 5 to 6 hours, not because you don't want more, because more doesn't come. Your mind runs calculations in the background, always. Position exposure, correlation risk. What happens to the book if the Fed surprises? You've built contingencies for scenarios most people haven't named yet. You live slightly in the future, perpetually, which means you're never quite in the present. Your relationships have narrowed to the people who understand the life or accept it without needing to understand it. Your world has become very small and very deep. You don't miss the wider world. You notice that you don't miss it, and that itself used to worry you, and now it doesn't. That is its own kind of change. You read a profile in a financial publication about a manager who runs $400 million, and you don't feel admiration. You feel interested. You study the structure of their operation the way you'd study a trade. What's their edge? Where does it break down? What would you do differently? You're always studying. You suspect you will always be studying. The market is not a thing you beat permanently. It's a thing you negotiate with indefinitely, and the moment you believe you've mastered it is the moment you've lost your edge. You know this. You've known it for years. You've built your entire operation around knowing it. Level 8, the weight of quiet. The number in your system is $340 million. You don't tell people. There's no one in your personal life for whom that number would be useful information. Your parents would be frightened. Your old friends would feel strange around you, and you around them. The number lives in your work systems and your legal documents and the minds of a small group of institutional counterparties who interact with you as an entity, not as a person. You think about the market differently now. You don't read it, you feel it, not in a mystical sense. In the sense that you've logged enough repetitions across enough cycles that patterns register before you can articulate them. You've seen this before. Not this exactly. The shape of it, the sentiment signature, the way volume behaves before a reversal. Your unconscious is processing information your conscious mind hasn't received yet. You've learned to trust that. It took years to trust it. Most people never do. You are, by the definitions that matter to the market, powerful. You move things when you move. Your positions affect prices. You are aware of this the way you're aware of your height or your voice. It's just a property you have. You manage around it. You've built in protocols to protect against your own footprint. What no one tells you about this level is how quiet it is. Not peaceful. Quiet. There's a difference. There's no one to impress. There's no benchmark you're chasing with hunger. The hunger is still there, but it's changed. It's more like maintenance now, like the hunger to continue rather than to arrive. You've arrived. It turns out arriving is not the thing. The people you respect most now are not the ones who've made the most. They're the ones who've lasted longest without breaking. Sustained excellence in an environment designed to destroy confidence. That's the real achievement. Not the number. The number is just the score. The game is the thing. You're still playing. You will always be playing. Somewhere, a 24-year-old just deposited $500. The interface is clean, almost playful. Green candles, red candles. They think it's simple. They're wrong. But you remember thinking the same thing, and you learned, and so will they.